The Democracy Index is an index compiled by the Economist Intelligence Unit that measures the state of democracy in 167 countries, of which 166 are sovereign states and 165 are United Nations member states. The index is based on 60 indicators grouped in 5 different categories: electoral process and pluralism, civil liberties, functioning of government, political participation, and political culture. In addition to a numeric score and a ranking, the index categorizes countries as one of 4 regime types: full democracies, flawed democracies, hybrid regimes and authoritarian regimes. The index was first produced for 2006, with updates for 2008, 2010, 2011, and 2012. Methodology: as described in the report, the Democracy Index is a weighted average based on the answers of 60 questions, each one with either 2 or 3 permitted alternative answers. Most answers are experts' assessments. The report does not indicate what kinds of experts, nor their number, nor whether the experts are employees of the Economist Intelligence Unit or independent scholars, nor the nationalities of the experts. Some answers are provided by public opinion surveys from the respective countries. In the case of countries for which survey results are missing, survey results for similar countries and expert assessments are used in order to fill in gaps. The questions are distributed in the 5 categories: electoral process and pluralism, civil liberties, functioning of government, political participation, and political culture. Each answer is translated to a mark either 0 or 1, or for the 3 answer alternative questions, 0.5. With the exceptions mentioned below, the sums are added within each category, multiplied by 10, and divided by the total number of questions within the category. There are a few modifying dependencies, which are explained much more precisely than the main rule procedures. In a few cases, an answer yielding 0 for one question voids another question. For example, if the elections for the national legislature and head of government are not considered free, then the next question, are elections fair, is not considered, but automatically marked 0. Likewise, there are a few questions considered so important that a low score on them yields a penalty on the total score sum for their respective categories, namely, whether national elections are free and fair, the security of voters, the influence of foreign powers on government, the capability of the civil servants to implement policies. The 5 category indices, which are listed in the report, are then averaged to find the Democracy Index for a given country. Finally, the Democracy Index, rounded to 1 decimal, decides the regime type classification of the country. The report discusses other indices of democracy, as defined for example by Freedom House, and argues for some of the choices made by the team from the Economist Intelligence Unit. In this comparison, a higher emphasis has been put on the public opinion and attitudes, as measured by public surveys, but on the other hand, economic living standard has not been weighted as one criterion of democracy. The report is widely cited in the international press as well as in peer-reviewed academic journals. Changes from 2010 to 2011 and 2012. According to the latest issue of the index for 2012, Norway scored a total of 9.93 on a scale from 0 to 10, keeping the first-place position it has held since 2010, when it replaced Sweden as the highest-ranked country in the index. North Korea scored the lowest with 1.08, remaining at the bottom in 167th place, the same as in 2010 and 2011. There was no significant improvement or regression in democracy between 2011 and 2012. In 2012 the index score stayed the same for 73 out of 167 countries, improved for 54 countries, and declined for 40. Libya experienced the biggest increase of any country in its score in 2012. Average regional scores in 2012 were very similar to scores in 2011. An exception is the Middle East and North Africa where the average score increased by more than a tenth of a point, from 3.62 to 3.73, and 3 countries moved from authoritarian to hybrid regimes. The Democracy Index for 2011 highlighted the impact of the Arab Spring and the greater effects it might have, as well as the impact of the global financial crisis in 2008-09 on politics throughout most of Europe. The Democracy Index score was lower in 2011 than in 2010 in 48 countries out of the 167 that are covered. It was higher in 41 ranked countries, and it stayed the same in 78. In 9 countries there was a change in regime type between 2010 and 2011. In 4 of these there was regression. Russia was downgraded from a hybrid regime to an authoritarian regime, which the report attributes to concerns over the December 4 legislative election and Vladimir Putin's decision to run again in the 2012 presidential election. Portugal was also downgraded to the flawed democracy category, attributed to the effects of the global financial crisis. Tunisia, Mauritania, Egypt, and Niger were all upgraded to hybrid regimes, and Zambia moved up to the flawed democracy category. Democracy Index by regime type. The following table gives the number and percentage of countries and the percentage of the world population for each regime type in 2012. World population refers to the total population of the 167 countries that are covered. Since this survey excludes only a few countries, this is nearly equal to the entire actual estimated world population in 2010. Democracy Index by region. The following table gives the index average by world region, and the number of covered countries in 2012, Democracy Index by country. See also, Democracy Promotion, Freedom House, Gender Empowerment Measure, Gender-Related Development Index, Gini Coefficient, Global Peace Index, Gross National Happiness, Happy Planet Index, Human Development Index, List of Freedom Indices, Living Planet Index, Physical Quality of Life Index, Social Progress Index. References. External links: The Economist Intelligence Unit's website.